Good afternoon, everyone. So, we are here at the National Conclave on Sustainable Food System. I have with me Dr. Sultan Ismail from the Ecoscience Research Foundation. Sir, we wanted to know a little bit more about the soil health, how it's measured, and the status of that in India. So, can I ask you a few questions regarding that?
Yeah, you're welcome to. Thank you.
So, what is soil health, and largely, and how it needs to be measured and understood better?
Too many questions for a teacher in
Just
one
two
go.
questions.
Oh, fine. It all happened in a very funny way. So, like what was happening was nobody bothered about soil health or soil fertility. Because basically, उस जमाने में ये होता था कि मिट्टी की खुशबू, that was the only thing which was taken as a consideration. Like you get a good fragrance from the soil, it is a good soil because we call that fragrance as petrichor. Soil has no smell, absolute no smell. You take soil, dry it in the sun, smell it, absolute no smell. People say when it rains, you get that fragrance, but water also has no smell. Water is odorless, soil is odorless. The smell is because of the microorganisms which multiply over there. So when these, especially a group of actinomycetes, so that produces this beautiful fragrance called as petrichor. Unfortunately, today they manufacture, I would say, attars and perfumes of that sort of a fragrance, and soil fragrance has vanished. Gradually, what happened when fertilizers were introduced, people started speaking about soil fertility, how fertile my soil is to grow plants. Now, when they started working on that aspect, and we suddenly felt that when you give a sample of soil for analysis anywhere in a good laboratory, they analyze a few parameters, usually nitrogen, phosphate, potash, pH, electroconductivity, a few micronutrients, and they don't stop with that. They start recommending how much of urea, DAP, and potash you're supposed to add. So gradually it so happened that soil fertility got related with fertilizers. So we, in that case, what happened was we from the organic lobby slowly started using the term soil health. Soil health becomes holistic. It is not just about the chemical parameters, but also the microbes which are there, the soil fragrance which is there, the whole concept of an ecosystem. So we call it as soil health. Now, how to measure soil health? It's very simple. You go to your doctor and you say that you're not well. What does the doctor do?
Gives us a medicine or something.
No.
Or does it check?
Before how does he check? The first
Measures
checkup
the
he does, measures the pulse.
Oh.
Pulse. Measures the pulse. If your pulse is healthy, doctor says you're fine.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with the pulse. He goes into diagnosis. The same way, when I dig a soil, and if an earthworm comes and says hello, we presume the soil is healthy. Earthworm is the pulse of the soil. Because earthworm is a very soft-bodied animal. So if a soft-bodied animal can live happily over there, we presume the microarthropods which have cuticles and other things on them are also living them as a community. So the whole ecosystem is functioning over there, in which case the soil is a healthy soil. It's one of the easy way of recognizing your soil is healthy.
And so then what is the status of soil health in the country right now?
I would rather say it's almost reaching the ICU. Because one of the major components of soil health is organic carbon in the soil. And to our temperature at an average, we should have 2% to 5% of organic carbon in the soils. Unfortunately, today, according to ICAR, our average carbon is around 0.15% in the country. Plants can grow well only when there is holistic amount of carbon available. And so the whole world now talks about how to incorporate carbon back into the soil. Some try to tempt you with money, saying carbon credits can get you money, or some try to tempt you with saying that you can turn into a different type of an agriculture, which is called as regenerative agriculture. So whatever said and done, unless we incorporate carbon into the soil, at least in some parts of India, it's distributed here and there, that farmers who grow paddy, when they start sowing the seeds and growing them before transplanting, they use organic inputs to enhance the carbon content. Gradually, when they transplant, then they go in for chemical fertilizers. But it's not a thumb rule today. Even when they are growing seedlings, they have started using chemicals. So the more chemicals you use, the more removal of organic matter takes place, and then the carbon is lost.
Right, sir. So then how can soil health be improved, and what can some of the different stakeholders do about it?
That's wonderful. On one side, yes, farmers, we always tell the farmers that you are supposed to do this, do that, but it should happen at the policy level. Some farmers have their own limitations. Like, for example, if a farmer goes for a loan because it needs money or anything, loan is not money. They give you chemical fertilizers, pesticides, seeds, and some amount of money. So whether you like it or not, in the present system, unless systems change, where the farmer has a choice to take any organic material, should be brought in. Similarly, whenever the soil test is given by the farmer, they should also give an option of writing in the script itself, you can either use these chemicals or you can use this. So thereby the government itself encourages this. And unfortunately, there is no subsidy for organic farming. So what we people who try to talk about non-chemical farming, what we say is, if the government stops subsidy for chemical farming, by default, the country will become organic.
और stakeholders के लिए भी हमारे को है या government के साथ ही?
All stakeholders का भी लेके आ सकते हैं.
Like
All stakeholders, like for example, like consumers are the major consumers. If the consumers start, civil society is consumers mainly. Like if consumers start patronizing a particular type of food I want, naturally the farmers will start growing that type of food. Right. And the government also is selective in giving minimum support price, procurement guarantees of only a few crops. It's not for all the crops to grow. So the farmers feel that why should I be growing and taking a risk of selling a product in the market, even though I'm honest and I want to do something for the ecosystem. So it's easier for me to grow what the government buys and I get some money out of it. So these systems. And second is, he is faced to a lot of regalities of nature. Anytime today, there are no monsoons anymore, there are only cyclones. A crop is growing and sudden cyclone and it's gone. Insurance schemes are not properly implemented. There are a lot of things which needs to be regularized. And farmers need to have a sort of a support system where they feel that I am taking this risk and the government is with me. My government is with me. Now, that sort of a thing is required where organic matter can get incorporated.
Great.
But it has become necessary and mandatory that we got to think about organic matter. And without organic matter, there's going to be no good, healthy plants. You see, the more nutrients in the soil, the nutrients are absorbed and you produce healthy crop. The more healthy crop you eat, you become healthy. The entire ecosystem, the food chain becomes healthy. So that's the reason now they talk about One Health concept. But One Health concept starts right from organic carbon in the soil.
Right. So thank you so much, Dr. Ismail, for taking out the time and answering a few of our questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.